You're watching the 2025 SCAC Men's and Women's Tennis Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Southwestern University men's and women's tennis programs. The Pirates will be led as they head into the season. The guidance of first-year head coach Maggie, Dabadie, along with leadership from junior Parth Patel on the men's side and senior Erika Synoski on the women's side. And Coach Parth, Erika, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, we'll open up with you. It was announced back in August, the hiring of your arrival as the head coach of these two programs there in Georgetown. I'm just interested, what that transition process has been like for you, your arrival there with these two programs, and just ultimately, how excited you to kind of be back here at the start of the season and getting things going in this spring semester.
Yeah, so I feel like Southwestern tennis has spoken for itself for so long. So even as a player in college, I always knew of Southwestern. So when the opportunity presented itself, I definitely jumped on board, and the two teams didn't scare me. I was ready to just get started and get to know these players. And I knew that I was coming into a program with great foundation. So I knew I just had to get to know the players and kind of lead them, but also learn what they needed and what I could bring to the program. So I really feel like from the start, it was just kind of getting to know them and seeing where we could grow and get them back in that top 25 position, because I know these two programs definitely deserve to be there.
Parth, coming into this season, how would you describe the team's energy? What's motivating this group coming into this year, and how do you feel like the team has started to gel and bring that chemistry along, coming into the season?
It's actually a great question. I was actually thinking about it last night. We've been close. My freshman, sophomore, junior year, the team has been so close every year. But this year in particular, it feels a little bit different in the sense that, we have another coaching transition that is going way better than the last coaching transition. And Coach Maggie kind of helped build herself into the culture rather than trying to just take it over. So that really helped all of us continue our bond and kept our culture going. And this is the closest I personally felt with every individual member on the team. We do things on court, off court all the time, and that helps us beat the teams that, maybe on paper we're not supposed to beat, but when we all bring it together, that's how we beat these teams. So it's been great so far.
Erika, coming into this season, obviously a big year for you and into your senior year, and you've been a big part of this program really since stepping foot on campus there in Georgetown, your first year. And I'm interested, Parth talks about that transition from your standpoint. How has that transition gone with Coach Maggie? What has she brought to this program that has been exciting? And just, how excited are you to come into this final semester as one of the leaders within this team?
Yeah, I'm super excited for my last season with this team, and Parth made a lot of good points about how great Coach Maggie has been coming into the program, and I think she's done a lot to help build our culture and make it even better and support us and who we want to be, and strong, independent female athletes. And I also think she's brought a lot of positivity and given us a lot of belief in ourselves. And I think it's been great, and I'm really looking forward to this season.
Coach, coming into this first year, it's fun to hear both of these student athletes kind of from their perspective, hear how open you've been and receptive you've been to kind of just learning both of these teams, and it's sort of marrying those two different philosophies and bringing them together to make them both stronger. So what's kind of been, some things that you really hope are consistent with these two teams, some philosophy, styles of play that you like to see that, you hope, like I said, can be consistent throughout both of these programs, irregardless of result on a day in, day out basis.
Yeah, I feel like they both said how close-knit the teams are and also how talented they are. So I think me coming in, I just wanted to be like, what's going to separate us? And it's going to be our culture and how we compete. So I think just being able to, like I said, support them off the court is only going to make them better tennis players and in the end win more matches. So I feel like my goal has just been to get them as close as they can culture-wise, but then also know there's a difference between like friendships and teammates, and you can push each other. And I think both Parth and Erika they're great leaders on this team. So I hope that I can continue that leadership with their strong foundation they've already set.
Parth, similar to kind of what I asked Erika, you've been a big part of this program really since your first day as well. And I'm interested just kind of how you've seen your role change and develop within this program of these last couple of years. I would imagine, like we talked earlier, just those first few seasons, probably just trying to be the best tennis player that you can be. But now coming into this junior season, your first as an upperclassman, have you sort of seen yourself taking on some of that more leadership responsibility? And how have you enjoyed kind of that change in your role within this group coming into the season?
Yeah, for sure. So actually my freshman year, I think I was more quiet, I would say. I was dealing with a bad wrist injury. I was a singles player all my life. And with this wrist injury, I had to transition my game kind of to doubles. So I've been playing doubles my whole time here. And going through that injury, it mentally set me back, but the culture around me, my teammates, the coach at the time really helped me stay motivated, stayed positive about it. And he developed me into a doubles player. And me having that experience now, I can share what he did to me and what my teammates did for me with everyone else. And I think that's kind of how my role on this team transitioned to from just being a doubles player to a doubles player and a leader. I think a lot of the guys on the team respect me. We all respect each other. Everyone leads in their own place. And that's what I love about this team. The culture is so open to anyone saying whatever they want about the team, and everyone takes all the feedback given. But, I don't consider myself to be like a captain. I just want to be more of like someone people trust, who people can talk to. But everyone, I think, feels that way on the team as well.
Erika, from a distance, it appears that the team chemistry has always been a real strength within this program over the last number of years. And so, I'm interested, how have you seen that chemistry continue to build with this team? Obviously, in college tennis, every team is anew. It's not always going to be the same group. So how, as a leader within this team, have you seen this chemistry start to build for this year's program? And, is that something that you feel like is a big strength of this team and can help for the success of the team going forward?
Yeah, I definitely think our team culture and our chemistry is one of our biggest strengths. Every year that I've been on the team, with any team, you're going to have a ton of different personalities and playing styles, and that's always something you have to adjust to. And every year it's been very different, but we've always found a way to allow everyone to have their role and feel accepted and be able to express themselves however they want and just finding their place in the team. And I think we do a good job at accepting everyone and making them feel confident and just become not only a better tennis player, but a better person. So it's all about making sure everyone can find their role. And I think that's what we do really well.
Coach, you have such a unique perspective, obviously being with these groups day in and day out at practices, in the van rides, to the away trips on match day. What do you want fans to know about these two teams? What have you learned about these two groups that excite you? Where do you see the strengths and what are things that, like I said, you want the supporters of these Pirates programs to know about these groups coming in?
Yeah, I think one thing that honestly shocked me, I think a lot of the times I like to bring fun energy and like goofiness to practices and stuff, and both teams definitely do that for themselves. So I think that was something that might have shocked me, knowing that both teams are great tennis players. So I think I was like, okay, I'm going to bring the fun energy, but they definitely did that for me. So I think every day showing up at practice, they all know they're going to have fun and compete hard and push each other. So I think that is something that has definitely shocked me and made me love coming to practices so much more.
And finally, as we wrap up with our two student athletes, the bar, because of the hard work and the success that you and your teammates have had over the years, is set high there in Georgetown. So coming into this season, when you've had conversations with your teammates and other leaders within the program about some of the goals and expectations for your two groups, what have those conversations looked like? And ultimately, what do you see as being key for your two groups to go out and accomplish those things heading into the year?
Yeah, so as a group, the men's and women's team, we have one collective goal, is to beat that team down south. But in order to do that, we have to set a bunch of small goals, treat every match, although it may not matter towards conference or ranking, we need to treat every match like each match is a step up to get to that final match. But yeah, so we really focus on that. And at the end of the day, it's like in 20, 30 years, you're going to remember the tennis, but you're also going to remember the moments you have off court, all the shenanigans we get up to, wherever, on court, off court. So we want to make sure we're having fun in the process as well. And that's how I think we always have successful seasons.
Yeah, Parth said it really well. I mean, of course, our big goal is to bring home a conference title, but to get there, there's so many small things that we have to accomplish. And I think a big thing I focus on is every single day, every practice, every match is an opportunity to get better. Literally every ball you hit at practice needs to have intention behind it, and you need to have some type of focus that is setting you towards the bigger goal. And yeah, I don't want to just repeat what Parth said. He said it very well. I think the small goals are important, and also making those important memories off the court as well and becoming a better person.
And finally, Coach, as we wrap up with you, what's kind of been your message to sort of lay the foundation this season? Just hearing kind of those goals and expectations of these two athletes. What's kind of been your word to sort of support those messages and make sure that this group is in a space as best as they possibly can be, both mentally and physically, going into this season?
Yeah, I really enjoyed hearing both of their perspectives, because I really do think like you kind of have to look at the season as a big picture, and knowing that each match is kind of like a stepping stone, like Parth said, and realizing we're not going to be playing the tennis that we played in January and April. But if we have that mental mindset of every day we're getting better, every ball that we're hitting in practice is important, it's going to pay off when we have those tight matches in April. So I think kind of just starting that ball rolling of like, y'all, this is a stepping stone. We can do this. We can, if we just don't get discouraged. And I think they've both leaders on this team have done a great job of just being like, let's see the big picture, because it's about the tennis we're playing in April, and it's the small things that we do now that will make us have success later on.
Southwestern University head men's and women's tennis coach Maggie Dabadie, along with leadership from junior Parth Patel on the men's side and senior Erika Synoski on the women's side. Coach Dabadie and the Pirates get back to action when the men take on Gustavus Adolphus on March 5th, and the women take on Gustavus Adolphus on March 5th, and the men take on Carnegie Mellon on the 6th. Coach, Erika, Parth, thanks so much for your time today. Best of luck as you head forward throughout the rest of the season.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Russell.